The Outer Banks, where yet again another beach home has been swallowed by the Atlantic in Buxton. Fox Weather correspondent Katie Burns, she's been in Buxton this morning. We've been taking her live, and she showed us some of the debris left behind in the aftermath. This marks the 20th home that has fallen into the ocean due to an eroding coastline.
We do want to welcome in another voice into this conversation. We have the manager of Dare County, North Carolina, Bobby Outten. Thank you, Bobby, for joining us this morning. Getting to the fallen home and the latest on that. Definitely, you know, we knew it was coming, but it doesn't make it easier to see, especially for the community and the homeowners. But Dare County, for those who aren't familiar, it's almost 110 miles of that shoreline that we just call the Outer Banks. Yeah. But that's a lot of shoreline that's been very vulnerable to the ocean over the past several years. Can you talk about a little bit more about the past 24 hours and what's been happening out of Buxton in particular?
Sure. In the last one, we've had a northeaster blowing here for a few days, and we lost another house. It's sad because we're about 2 weeks away from doing a beach nourishment project there that would protect that whole coastline area. So again, it's a problem that we're trying to work to resolve, and we'll have resolved before the end of the summer. You mentioned our coastline. We've got 100 miles of coast. We've got about 1.5 miles of problems in Buxton, and the rest of our coast is beautiful and doesn't look like the pictures you're showing now.
And that's the disappointing thing. I think people who have traveled to the Outer Banks, they know how beautiful they are, Bobby, and just occasionally we have seen this trend. Now, this trend does seem to be picking up in pace. On Monday, we spoke to Governor Josh Stein, and we brought up the vulnerabilities and what we are seeing play out in the Outer Banks. And if there's anything that can be done, let's listen to what he said, and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
Basically, the sea is rising, and it's hitting the Outer Banks especially hard. When it falls into the ocean, it creates incredible environmental damage up and down the coast. So we know which homes are most at risk. And unfortunately, right now, the homeowner has to wait until their home is destroyed in order to get compensation, and that makes no sense.
And Bobby, talk honestly with us, because we have had, since 2025, 20 homes in Buxton. And while there are hundreds of miles or more than 100 miles of beautiful beaches, we've got another home that has debris in the water. And I think the perspective sometimes is that, well, this seems like we've not planned for it. We're just letting a home fall into the ocean. What do you say to people who say that?
So we plan for it because we've done beach nourishment here, and we've held the beach in place for a number of years. Over the last 2 years, we've had an exacerbated erosion rate, if you will, that's created problems that you see there in Buxton. But we nourish our beaches throughout Dare County. And again, as I said earlier, this is about 1 mile of beach out of 100 miles of shoreline where we're having this problem. And there's a plan in place that we've been working on for the last 2 years to get the permitting and the work done to put sand on this beach to provide protection in this area. And so, again, in the next few weeks, that'll be begun, and by the end of the summer, that'll be completed, and you won't see what you're seeing there.
Yeah, I think, and you know, the video coming out of last season, we didn't have landfalling hurricanes, but we did have some really powerful hurricanes just off the coast, and it really didn't translate well for Buxton in particular. You talked about the beach nourishment project and how you're just a few weeks from that. Out from that, do you think, what does that involve, and do you think it would have been something that, I don't know, the home looked pretty fragile, the one that just went in, but do you think this is something that could have delayed it?
This project would not have saved that house. That house would have had to either be physically removed by us to do the beach nourishment project, and of course it fell before we could do that. So that house wouldn't have been protected, but the other houses that look vulnerable today will be protected. And if we can last another 2 weeks, then we'll have sand out there. We will begin putting sand out there that will protect those homes for the coming years.
And I know it's probably hard, Bobby, to gauge, but how many years? Because we've been covering this, and I understand it is just a 1 mile stretch of beach for Dare County, but we're seeing this rapidly eroding coastline for the Outer Banks, and putting more sand and trying to extend the life of these homes. Is it just a matter of time, though, before that ends? Is there an idea that maybe removing these homes, and if there could be a partnership with the government, the federal government, to get some funds to where that would be a possibility? Has that been floated around?
That has been floated around, and there's actually some legislation in Congress to that effect. The issue is that there's one way on to Hatteras Island and one way off. That's Highway 12. And the crux of most of these beach nourishment projects down south is to protect Highway 12, because if we lose the highway, we lose everything down there. You can't move around. You can't have fire protection, police protection, EMS. People can't get to the grocery store. We can't get supplies down. All the things that would disrupt your life get disrupted if we lose Highway 12. When we have problems like you're seeing in this video, Highway 12 is getting overwashed and being closed. And so the primary purpose is to protect Highway 12. The ancillary purposes are to protect these homes. Simply moving the homes out of the way will solve the problem of the homes, but it won't solve the problem of Highway 12 access. And so beach nourishment is going to be necessary to protect Highway 12. Because we've got to protect Highway 12, we also protect these homes. So in and of itself, moving the homes doesn't solve the problems on Hatteras Island.
Yeah, I think we've seen issues, as you mentioned, Highway 12. It's an area we spotlight as well. And, for people, oftentimes you get evacuations too. So for people, if they need to get out, optional, but that way they have that artery to get out of harm's way. So I think we did have video also of a home being deconstructed before it actually was succumbing to the ocean. So we will monitor, and we hope that this hurricane season is a little kinder to the Outer Banks to give you guys a little bit of that, that lead time to prepare. We do appreciate your time in the meantime. Bobby Outten, County Manager for Dare County in North Carolina. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right.